Following video is an excerpt from my course Building Rapport, going beyond small talk with authentic communication skills. If you want to see the full video or the full course, check out the link in the description or comments below. So in this video, we start to wrap the course up with talking about the opposite of building rapport, breaking rapport, what I call weeding the garden, knowing when to avoid creating rapport and when to end relationships. It might sound contradictory almost, but breaking rapport is as important as building it. In order for good relationships to thrive, a space must be created for them. That social time that you have, that limited time that you have each week, cannot be taken up by weeds. Your garden must be clean and only have healthy plants in it. So knowing when to say no to a person is as important as knowing when to say yes. 1 minute spent with a bad fit connection is a minute stolen from a potential good fit connection, or at the very least, a minute taken away from you being by yourself in a healthy way. Building rapport, networking, creating a social circle doesn't mean getting along with everyone. It means finding the right people for you. And in order to do that, you must put effort actively into excluding the people who are wrong for you. So if you think of your social world like a garden, you just want these beautiful flowers and these delicious vegetables to grow. And if any of you have ever done gardening, you know what weeds do to the garden. They take up space, they drain resources, they make the soil less nutritious. Weeding is an incredibly important part of gardening. If you don't do it, you will not have a healthy garden. Well, the same thing applies to socializing. You must protect your current connections and potential future connections by eliminating bad fit connections. Now, just because someone's wrong for you doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad as a person, though that can also mean that. You're not judging people as bad people. You're just saying you're not right for me. And you're not ideal for me even. So somebody might be okay for you, but that's not good enough. We're looking for hell yes type people, the type of people that improve your life, the type of people that it is glorious to be in the company of. They make you a better person, not just someone who's okay to be around, and certainly not someone who abuses you. So I've got a task for you. It's quite a difficult task. Not that it's complicated, but it can be emotionally hard to do this task. You make a list of all the people you spend time with, anybody you see more than once a month, your workmates, your family and friends, other people you associate with, and you give them a simple rating. You ask yourself a question. Does spending time with this person make me feel like my life is better? And does it encourage me to be my most authentic and best self? So does this person make me the best version of me? Do they bring that out of me? And the answer is definitely, or something else. Maybe, not all the time, only sometimes, not at all. They actually hurt me. Being around them makes me anxious. So if they are not, a hell yes, they make me a better person and my life gets better being in their presence, then they're a no. They're a weed that needs to be taken out of the garden. One way to look at it is there are 8 billion people, roughly, on this earth. It is less effort to search for and create a good connection with a good fit person than it is to fix a bad connection with a bad fit person, because that's next to impossible. And even if it can be done, it still takes so much more effort than just finding someone who's a good fit for you right from the beginning. It is better to be lonely for a period of time while you have high standards about who you bring into your life and how they affect you, than it is to just surround yourself and fill up the space with anybody you can find, and actually prevent the opportunity to create good connections because your social calendar is full of junk connections. And of course, for the obviously abusive relationships, people who manipulate you, people who you come away from feeling worse about yourself, people who discourage you actively, people who harm you physically or emotionally, people who betray your trust, people who are dishonest with you, people who insult you or embarrass you in front of others or try to control you or make you feel bad and guilt trip you about your life. All of these people, there's no good reason to keep them in your life. You only do so out of fear and out of scarcity mindset, out of taking whatever you can get because you don't think highly of yourself. Well, you're not going to think highly of yourself and you're not going to find healthy connections until you get rid of these ones. So however it needs to be done, the contact with these people needs to be eliminated, or at the very least minimized as much as humanly possible. If right now you have a toxic boss and you absolutely can't find a new job, which I don't believe, at least do not spend any more time with that boss than you absolutely must keep your job. If you have toxic family members, only go there for Christmas and Thanksgiving and just do not spend any more time with them. Really minimize the contact, because every minute spent with them is a minute that harms your life and prevents other opportunities. There's an opportunity cost in spending time with unhealthy, abusive people. If someone's abusive, you just cut them off. You don't try to explain things to them. You don't try to change them. There's no point. You just run and hide until they give up. You block all potential connections. You ignore them. You dismiss them. You ghost them until they find new prey. Right? Do not bother to try and change them. Do not bother to try and explain yourself or justify or defend yourself, because all you're doing is allowing them to spend more minutes with you, and it does not serve any healthy purpose. Even confronting an abusive person is not necessarily helpful for you. It can be helpful to do it once to prove to yourself that you have the courage to do it, but once you've done that, any further confrontations are just a waste of your time. Speak your mind, cut them off, make it impossible for them to contact you, and move on as best you can. And it doesn't matter if they have kind of good reasons for doing it, like maybe they were abused themselves, or maybe you had some part in the relationship where you weren't so kind to them and so on. It doesn't matter. You're not a good fit for each other. It doesn't matter why. All that matters is what? Are you a good fit for each other? No, you're not. Are there other people who are out there who would be? Yes. Gates closed. Go find those other people. You need to slowly build up the courage through practice, learning how to tell someone that you do not want to spend any more time with them. This applies to just a single conversation with a new person who you don't really like, through to a long-term relationship with someone that needs to end, and everything in between. One way to do it to make yourself more comfortable is, rather than talking about them as being a bad person, talk about the connection you have with each other as not working. So you're not really implying that there's something wrong with them. I mean, even if they are a manipulative narcissist, they might actually have a good connection with someone else. They're not objectively impossible to connect with, but they don't connect well with you. And that's the part to talk about, where you meet in the middle, that not working. So if you focus on that part, you can keep this away from being a personal attack on the other person. I'll give you some examples of how you might say this. I can tell we're not really a good fit for each other, so let's just end it here rather than dragging it out. You seem like a pretty good person, but you're not on the same wavelength as me. I think we'd be better off finding our own kind of people. Whenever you and I are together, we end up in a conflict. And this is just not what happens in a healthy connection. So we're just not meant to be together, and this needs to end today. And if you want to be really bold, you can learn to say things like, I don't like you. Let's not spend any more time together. Or perhaps, I don't like the way I feel around you, so I think we're done. And you can just walk away. You don't need to try and explain this or make them understand, or even allow them to convince you that you're wrong. If this was an ideal fit for you, if this was a good person for you, it wouldn't have come to this. It wouldn't have come to this level of kind of conflict and dispute. When somebody's ideal for you, when they're a really good connection, the kind of person you would build great rapport with, you don't need to worry about having this conversation. It just doesn't come up. You may have conflicts, you certainly have disagreements, you'll have different preferences, but you won't get to the point where you're like, being around this person hurts my life, hurts who I am. Generally, an ideal fit for you, you'll have conflicts, and those conflicts will make you a better person. It'll make you think about a different perspective. It'll challenge some of your harmful behavior patterns and so on. That's fine. Just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're a bad fit. But if being around someone makes you feel bad about yourself, and you don't look forward to spending time with them, and they just don't treat you with respect and kindness, and they don't listen to you and so on, then just end it. When you get good at ending things, you're going to have super confidence, socially speaking. It makes it easier to build rapport when you know you can break it, because you can take greater risks in opening up and being vulnerable when you're building the rapport, because you don't have to worry, as we talked about in the previous video, about getting trapped in a commitment that you can't get out of. If you know that you can break commitments and get out of things, no matter how good it's been going up until now, if you realize, oh my God, I made a mistake, this person's terrible for me, and you can end it the second you make that realization, then you'll be safe socially for the rest of your life. So it's worth the effort. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please get in touch, dan@brojo.org. We can talk about building your social connection skills.